this is the final module. So this is where we're going to stretch a little bit. We're going to go from, maybe one-liners to something with layers. I don't know. But this isn't a throwaway tweet, not a zinger. This is a real bit, the kind of thing that you can really build something around, the kind of story that actually gets laughs, not just once, but again and again, because it keeps turning, right? It keeps turning.
It's all messed up, yeah, everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.
So here's a joke that I wrote and that we're going to start with. Goes like this. When I was young, my dad ingrained in me the 30-40 rule. After 30 minutes of work, take a break from parenting for the next 40 years. The joke already hits. You got to set up a punch, twist, darkness, truth, a personal wound wrapped in sarcasm, satire. It's a full meal in one line. But we don't have to stop there. And this module is about how to take that kind of joke and build it into a bigger bit. And we've been kind of seeing that. But it's going to be a bigger bit that keeps escalating, keeps surprising, keeps paying off. And you still do it, wait for it, using our 3 questions. What happened? What should have happened? What actually happened? So what happened? My dad taught me a lesson. What should have happened? He should have given me good advice about hard work and life skills. But what actually happened? He dipped out after giving me a terrible rule and then ghosted me for 4 decades. That's a joke, but it's also a story. We can keep mining it for tension and beats and tags, and we can start with some detail. I don't know, something like this. He told me this while we were sitting on the couch. He was shirtless, watching Wheel of Fortune with a bowl of cereal that was just ice cream and cornflakes, right? That gives us a whole mental picture, a world, a sphere, a setting, and now we can build. Because unlike Dad, what's the 30-40 rule? And he said, simple. You work for 30 minutes and you never come back. And we can exaggerate, escalate, right? I didn't realize he was talking about parenting. I thought it was, mowing the lawn, but now I get it. He left the mower and me half finished, right? Or he left the yard. He left the mower in the yard and me half finished, right? He texted me on my 18th birthday and he said, time's up. This is for mowing the yard. I said, you mean time's up on your break? And he said, no, on my child support. So we thought it was about the yard initially. It could have been. And then now we flip it to child support. We can keep escalating, right? He said, I taught you self-reliance. I said, no, you taught me how to eat peanut butter with a spoon while crying. And, right, we can just keep pulling in contrast. My friend's dad coached Little League. Mine coached me in abandonment, right? So we can have a callback opportunity here, right? I should have known, imagine this at the end of the set. I should have known because once we watched his car together, he drove it off into a new life. And that's a callback to that joke I told you earlier in the earlier modules, right? And that's what we're doing now. We're layering, we're escalating, we're telling a bigger story by building punchlines around these 3 questions and stacking every beat with turns. So here's the format that we're following now, right? We have an anchor punch, right? That's the original joke. And then we can backfill detail with setting and dialogue and weird behaviors, right? Act outs, narrators, characters. We can escalate logic by making the flaws worse and worse. We can contrast expectations, compare my dad to someone else's normal dad. We can insert character voices or voices of him or me, what he said versus what I heard. Callbacks, like I said, act outs. And we land these because they're emotional And we have these nice punches that come out of this. So, right, we can do this to a full build like this, right? My dad taught me the 30-40 rule. After 30 minutes of work, take a break from parenting for the next 40 years. He said this while balancing a warm beer on his belly. The can was sweating. He wasn't. I didn't know he was talking about fatherhood. I thought he was teaching me a math trick. Turns out he was solving for X, and X was my childhood, and X was his wife. Other dads had advice like, finish strong. Mine said, know when to disappear. He said, son, I'm preparing you for a hard world. And then he left. That was all the prep I got. I imagined him at a parenting workshop saying, here's my strategy. First, give him a rule, then disappear into legend. Uh, at 5 years old, I helped him wash his Firebird, and he said, thanks, son. That was the last time I saw him. I should have known clean car was a red flag. Now I'm a dad, and I told my son the 30-40 rule, but I stuck around. So maybe we're evolving, or maybe I just don't have a Firebird. Right? I don't know if that's the best way to end it, but you can see what's happening here, right? We're building toward a full bit. It has started as a one-liner, became a story and narrative, and every step still uses the same three questions. So you want to write your own bit like that, do it now, right? The story bit builder, right? You write a one-liner from your life, something short, a line with a twist, nothing complicated, nothing funny. And then you answer these three questions. What happened? What happened? What should have happened? What actually happened? And then you're going to describe the moment just in one or two lines. Add setting, add detail, add some tone. Write a dialogue line. What did someone say? What did you think when they said it? And then you're going to escalate it. You're going to take it one notch darker or dumber. And then you're going to tag it. Add a short follow-up or two. And then you're going to do a callback. You're going to tie it to something you said at the beginning, right? And you're going to finish with a punch. You're going to land on something sharp and simple, painfully true. And that's a story bit. You don't need a sad origin story to do this. You just need tension. You just need contrast. You need the guts to also say what actually happened. And once you got that, you've got it. And that's this whole course. You wrote a joke, hopefully. You structured it, you mined it, you built it, and now you've turned it in, hopefully, to a little bit. But you got a joke, and that was the point. If you want to keep growing, the next step is obvious. Take my full course, the Joke Writers Lab. It's not free, it's real. And it'll take everything we just did and multiply it by 50. Right? It's over 4 hours of stuff, over 4 hours of lessons. So I want to thank you for showing up. And now I just want to encourage you to go write jokes and hopefully share those jokes and get some laughs. And you know what? Remember this. I write jokes that I think are funny, that make me laugh. And then I go up and I tell them in front of people. And if other people laugh, cool. If they don't, I didn't write it for them in the first place. And so if people don't think you're funny or your jokes are funny, well, that was never the point to begin with. The point was to write jokes that you thought were funny and that made you laugh. And again, if other people laugh, that's the bonus. And you need this mental hack to get through comedy because not everybody's going to laugh at your jokes. Sometimes you'll bomb. But as long as you think they're funny, that's what's important. You keep writing what you find funny, right? So I hope you find that helpful and I hope you find that useful. Go check out my other joke writing course called the Joke Writers Lab. You can find me on social media. I've also started a joke writing group on Facebook called the Joke Writers Lab. You can find that at my website, the link to it at michaelhalcomb.live. michaelhalcomb.live. You can find all my socials there. And also you can sign up for my newsletter. I write a daily post or post a podcast. I post my podcast currently twice a week, and then 5 times a week I write an article. So we have a daily post on my website pretty much every day, which is what daily means. So follow me on social. Go get my other course, check out my website, sign up for a newsletter. Definitely join our joke writing group, the Joke Writers Lab on Facebook. And I'm Michael Halcomb. Check out michaelhalcomb.live. I'm going to stop there and say I hope that helps.
It's all messed up, yeah. Everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just